What is up, folks? I am Kevin Iole, back once again, UFC 286 on Saturday at the O2 Arena in London. And in the main event, as he's been so many times, in a little different role this time, is Kamaru Usman, the former welterweight champion, former pound-for-pound champion. Some people thought at one point was going on the path to be the best of all time. He is fighting Leon Rocky Edwards, the new welterweight champ. Kamaru, welcome. Thank you. Kind of a little different experience for you this time around, huh?
I would say it's just a little bit unfamiliar recently.
Right.
You know, I've been in this position before. There's one thing that I've always liked, and it's the hunt. It's one thing that I've always really cherished about this is the hunt, the next big thing, the next big catch, and this just kind of put me back in that perspective, in that space. So I'm excited, and I'm really looking forward to Saturday.
I want to ask you this. A lot of people have made the point, 2 points, that the loss at UFC 278, which came by head kick in the waning minute of the fight, was number one, would have a long-term impact on you, that you were going to remember that and it was going to be hard to overcome that. And two, that maybe you showed signs of age. I have disagreed with that. I kind of felt like you fought a really strong fight that fight, and you made a mistake in the last minute and got caught. And also that I didn't think, you're a veteran and you fought for many years. But how do you see the narrative? Like, do you feel like people were jumping off the ship, so to speak? Or what is the narrative for you as you look at how people reacted to your defeat?
A lot of people speak from a place of, where most ordinary people are at. They speak from that place. This is what they're familiar with. This is what they've seen before with a lot of ordinary people, a lot of ordinary fighters. And that's, there's nothing wrong with that. That's more power to them. And Leon included. Um, but that's why I think I know I've been blessed from the start in my athletic career, but that's why I think I differ from them because, it's my job to go there and show them that I am extraordinary, that it's nothing. I shake it off. It's not the first time I've lost. I lost before and we saw what happened. I went on a 15 fight tear. I don't know how many numbers,
19,
whatever.
19 fights in a row, yeah, over what, almost 9 years.
Yeah. So, the thing is, what people are failing to realize is the fact that that wasn't the first time I fought Leon Edwards.
Right.
I fought him before. And that first fight looked a lot like that second fight. And so it is what it is. Like I said, when I get in there, I fight these guys. I fight their heart and I fight their head and not necessarily their skills. Yes, he can kick good. Yes, he can punch good. So can I.
Sure.
But heart to heart, when we're in there, he knows what's going to happen and I know what's going to happen. And I don't think anything's changed. So, yeah, I think a lot of people speak from, when they speak about ordinary people that's come before, but I am not ordinary.
I think, you say people expected certain things. I think if you would have said 8 months ago that you would not be champion, Israel Adesanya would not be champion, and that Francis Ngannou would not be in the UFC, nobody would have believed that. And so, but that is the reality as we sit here talking a couple of days before UFC 286. How has that reshaped your perception of yourself and the sport, given the fact that you were number one pound for pound. Adesanya was in the top 3 or 5. Francis was definitely in the top 10. All close amigos, and now everybody's kind of on the outside looking in on it one way or another.
It just goes to show reality. Like I've always been honest with myself. And I understand that that's reality. Everything changes. The champions from 2000 are not the champions now. The champions from 2005 are not the champions now. Everything changes with time. And I understand that. And I'm okay with that. You know, um, yes, it's sad, but at the same time, that's life. And what we have accomplished, what we have done can never be taken away. If it doesn't matter how many years, two, three, 400 years that come by, when people go, wow, who were the first African UFC champions? Usman, Israel Adesanya, and Francis Ngannou. That what we've done is etched in stone forever. And
Right.
so with that, I'm content and I'm happy with it. But, myself and Israel Adesanya, we have an opportunity to go out there and regain our title. And how great, stat fun fact for you, Kevin.
Yeah, love it, love it. Hey,
4 years ago, 4 years ago, March, I became the UFC welterweight champion.
I was there.
4 years ago in April, Israel became the UFC middleweight champion.
And
Last year, I lost my title. Last year, Israel lost his title. This year, I am fighting again in March for the title. This year, Israel is fighting again in April for the title. I feel a great 2023 coming on, Kevin.
Kamaru, is there a commonality between you? Because both, you got to admire both yourself and Israel. Israel's took on Pereira in New York when he did not have to take that fight in the first place. Gets knocked out, and here he is coming back, right? So he's been knocked out once in kickboxing, once in MMA, and now he's coming back for a third time. And you're going right into the hometown, kind of in the belly of the beast, so to speak, after getting knocked out. You're fighting the guy. What does it take in an athlete to do that, where to get that immediate rematch and not say, hey, I want to fight at home, or I want to fight in a certain, I'll go to his place to do it. Certainly that takes a lot of, whatever you want to call it, and you're doing it. How did you
Yeah,
decide to make that decision?
yeah, it takes a lot of cojones. I mean, I think we're just competitors. We're competitors to where we like to challenge ourselves. We you know we take the road less traveled,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, that just speaks to our competitive ability because we want to know by the time we're done, we did everything there was to do with it.
Sure.
And that's just where we are. I think I think Israel loves to compete. I think Israel loves to say he's the best. He loves to be the best. And so do I. We love that. When you say who is the best welterweight, it's me. Mixed martial artist, it's me. Because there might be better boxers. There might be better kickboxers. There might be better wrestlers. There might be better jujitsu practitioners. But when it comes to mixing it all together, mixed martial arts, who's the best? And that is me. And that is also Israel. So, yeah, that's the commonality. We love to challenge ourselves, and we're doing it here again. I'm coming in here to London, and I asked for this. I
You
asked for this. Oh,
you know
Dana,
what
and I
I
can.
think of you, right? So I want to just throw this out at you, though. You say that, and we've had 3 pound for pound champions in the last 8 months. Yourself, Alex Volkanovski. Some people still would say Volkanovski as in John Jones, as I was going to put up John Jones. You said you're the best, and that's saying a lot. Given John Jones basically has never lost. He came out of a 3-year retirement and beat Cyril Gahn. And I wonder when you compare yourself to what John Jones has done, do you think, as we sit here right now, that you have done more than he has done to deserve to be regarded at that kind of peak level?
Kevin, respectfully in our weight classes, respectfully in our weight classes. No, I think right now, respectfully in our weight classes in the welterweight division, absolutely, I think I am. Um, John Jones, what he's done is, I mean, freak of nature, and a lot of respect and a lot of love for John and what he's done, and I truly believe, yeah, he is the best light heavyweight we've ever seen. Now as far as heavyweight, there's a couple guys that I think he needs to, get off and really cement himself there as well. But what John has done, no one can ever take away.
Yeah.
But respectfully, in the welterweight division right now, there's no one better, and
No.
and I think the world knows that.
I agree with you. I guess all I was saying was we were talking pound for pound, so that brings everybody. Let,
Pound for pound, I was definitely before John Jones. Now it's we got to deal with that whole thing again.
yeah. Let's throw this out there. I asked Leon this question when I spoke to him, and I think it's appropriate to you. He did better against you in the first round than, I mean, Colby had some moments, but I thought he did better in the first round against you than anybody else. And then you went 2, 3, 4, 5 up until the last minute of really looking good. But he got something on you that nobody else got. And forget the knockout, the takedown. How does that inform you going into the next fight? Now he can take you down. It has happened. Nobody else has done that. Not even a great wrestler like Colby. He did it. How does that change your preparation and your thought process in this coming fight?
Being honest, Kevin, he can't take me down. He cannot. That one happened, and it was kind of a freak thing, and it was because me being lazy. I was lazy in that position, and I wasn't as stingy as I was when I going up against a guy like Gilbert Burns or a guy like Kobe Covington. When I'm going up against guys like that I know once they can really get you down, you know, I'm stingy there. When I'm stingy, it's just a shutout, like I did in those fights. And it was. I guess you can say that's where I made a little bit of a mistake. I didn't respect any of that. And when he did hook my leg, I kind of twisted my leg, and I was trying to throw him over and roll him over the top, but I didn't account for his leverage on top of me. And
Mm-hmm.
so I give him more props to him, but he can't. Leon Edwards is not going to shoot a shot, get to my leg, and get me down. It happened. He tried, I believe, in the second or third, and I had him in the front headlock, eventually taking him down, taking his bag, and just and beating on him. So no, that in that case, that's not going to happen. But more power to him. I wasn't as tight in those positions as I should have been. We went back to the lab and we corrected those things, and we're gonna show the world what the changes we've made March 18th.
Marvin Hagler, the great middleweight boxing champion, who his death was just 2 years ago the other day, he had that famous quote where he said, "It's hard to get up and do road work when you were sleeping in silk pajamas," right? Um, do you think that there was anything to you like looking at your last fight where did you go as hard in preparation? Did you sacrifice as much as you had in all those other fights?
That's the one thing about me is I go above and beyond in my preparation because I felt defeat before. And I understand what it feels like and how much I do not want that. And so, yes, the pain of defeat is greater for me than the thrill of victory. And so, absolutely, I understand what he meant by that. But for me, that moment was basically the meaning why I was doing it. It was the why for me. It wasn't can I get up out of these silk sheets and go and,
Mm-hmm.
and, and do work. It was why. You've done everything that there is to do.
Right.
It's a matter of just why, you know? And so that's easy to start to feel when there's a lot of noise around you, when you have to go to this event and that event, and you're flying here and you're flying there, and these people want you, that people want you. So it's a lot of noise that kind of clouds everything. And so after that last fight, it was just kind of silence
Yeah.
because when you're great and you're winning and you're this immovable force, everybody wants a piece of that. Everybody wants to be close to that. Everybody wants to feel that, and so it clouds everything. But once after that fight, it just silenced down, which I'm blessed to understand and to feel again. Because now I'm loving that and appreciating that. Being a contender again, it's just me. I go to the gym and I come back home. Go to the gym and I come back home. And I like that space to myself. So I'm appreciative of that. And March 18th, we're going to see the culmination of all of that.
Last question for you. The story that just when you're talking about the story, that Leon's win was like one of the great sports endings of all time because you've got the fight won. If you just run away from him for the last minute, you're still the champion, and we're not talking about this fight. So from that standpoint, I think that's why it got so much attention. But you remember, and I'm sure you've seen the fight where his corner's giving him shit and all over him about where even DC was saying on the broadcast, "Where's the urgency from Leon Edwards?" What about from your standpoint, the urgency to not engage? You were trying to do, I guess, hey, if you would have done what you were trying to do and finished him, people would have said, hey, Kamaru Usman wasn't satisfied with just getting a decision. He wanted to finish, and they would have praised you. But that then came back to burn you. Was there anybody in your corner yelling at you, hey, just chill out, stay away, or were they encouraging you to do what you did?
Well, the thing is, my coaches and my corners, they know who I am. They know what I do. They know how hard I train, how much I put my body through. And I early on in my career, I would say I played. There was a couple of fights where I played a little bit safe,
Mm-hmm.
and I felt terrible after those. Kevin, I didn't feel that the amount of work that I put in, the trauma that I put on my body, I didn't feel like I represented that. That's the fun thing and the crazy thing about what we do is when you put
Yep,
in as much effort as we put in the gym, you want to leave it all out there. And
exactly.
so I always want to leave it all out there now I don't like we saw in the first Masvidal fight. There was a lot of factors that played in that. Traveling all across the world in 4 days and not sleeping and not acclimating to the time, and then having to fight in the mornings and cut weight and be quarantined the whole time. There's a lot of factors, and I even at the end of that, I felt like I could have done more, and I was unhappy
Mm-hmm.
with that performance. So I wanted that fight again, which is why I said I want that again. And I did. And I went out there and I put a stamp on it. And
Right.
so I always want to do that in my fights. And so, yeah, in that fight, my coaches know, and they're not going to do that. My coaches aren't going to do that. They know the time that I put in. They know the time that they put into me, getting me prepared for these fights. If I can finish the fight, I'm going to try to finish the fight. And so, yeah, that's not ever a thought in my mind. It's not a thought. There's some guys that are just like, oh man, let me just play safe. I already won this thing. No, I will definitely continue to compete and try to finish the fight if I can. And no risk, no reward. You know, like you said, had I went out there and done that, put
Everybody's
him away,
praised you.
everybody's like, wow.
He is one of
So
the
yeah, you live by the sword, you die by the sword, I guess.
He is one of the greatest to ever do it. Kamaru Usman, also one of the best guys. Always appreciate talking to you, champ. Do a great job. Good luck on Saturday. Appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.